right, let's get straight to our big story on the show today. That's how the sheer negligence from Delhi police cost the life of a 21-year-old Abhishek. Abhishek died after his neck got stuck in a wire that was tied between two barricades. He was on a bike riding towards Netaji Subhash Place, where the local police had tied two barricades with a wire, and because it was pitch dark, Abhishek did not see the wire and his throat got slit. A case has been registered by the Delhi police and 4 policemen have been suspended, while the SHO has also been transferred. The victim's body has now been sent for a post-mortem as well. But on the show today, we ask, is the suspension of these cops enough? Why wasn't there a clear warning sign? Our phone lines are also open. You can see our contact details flashing on your screens. Call us, share your views as well on the show. But first up, let's go across to Milan, who has all the details of this story. Milan, take us through what really... All right, we'll connect with Milan in just a bit. Meanwhile, let's listen in to what the family of the victim had to say.
ये डिमांड करूंगा जो कि उन्होंने जो बैरियर लगाए हुए थे, जो कि वो तार नहीं दिखाई किसी को, जो कि उस मेरे बेटे से पहले 2 का एक्सीडेंट हो चुका है, तो उन तारों को उनको हटाना चाहिए था वहां से कि भाई 2 एक्सीडेंट हो चुके हैं कि और कोई ना हो जाए। तो इस वजह से जो है कि मेरा बेटा उधर से निकल रहा था, तो उसके चपेट में मेरा बेटा आ गया और वहीं पर ही उनकी जो है डेथ हो गई।
कुछ ऐसा हुआ कि जब वो आ रहा था इस रास्ते से, तो वो अंधेरा इतना था कि वो तार दिखा ही नहीं अभिषेक को, और वो जैसे आगे की ओर बढ़ा तो उसकी गर्दन पर वोकल पाइप पर वो जो तार था वो लगा और अचानक उसका जो ब्लॉकेज हुआ उसकी वजह से वो नीचे गिर गया, अनकॉन्शियस हो गया। अनकॉन्शियस होने के थोड़ी ही देर बाद वो ऑन द स्पॉट खत्म हो गया और उस समय यहाँ पर कोई भी पुलिस, दिल्ली पुलिस से कोई भी मौजूद नहीं था, जबकि रूल ये कहता है, रेगुलेशन ये कहता है कि अगर आप कहीं से रास्ते को ब्लॉक कर रहे हैं तो फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल आपका एक कॉप वहाँ पर प्रेजेंट होना चाहिए, ताकि अगर कोई अर्जेंसी है तो वहाँ से लोग आ या जा सकें, लेकिन ऐसा यहाँ पर कुछ भी नहीं था।
All right, we've got connected to Milan now. Milan, take us through what really happened here. Why was there a barricade with a wire tying them in the first place?
Well, this incident occurred at 1 a.m. in the night when 21-year-old Abhishek was returning from one of the wedding functions where he also works as a DJ, and he was on his bike where he was trying to cross this particular stretch of road that leads directly to his home. This is in Netaji Subhash Place area in Shakurpur area, and 2 such barricading pickets were placed on either side of the road, and in the middle was a wire, which was an iron wire that was tying both these pickets together. Well, the Delhi police wanted to barricade the road. However, gross negligence by tying the 2 barricades together. That particular wire was not seen in the dead of the night by the 21-year-old Abhishek, who got caught in this wire while crossing it, and that sustained him injuries in the neck. In fact, it slit his throat directly and he collapsed, and he was immediately declared brought dead when they took him to the hospital, half an hour later. And clearly there, the delay was because there was no police personnel present at the spot. The barricading was not done properly. In order to barricade a road, you should place at least 2 to 3 barricades if you have to completely cordon off the area. But the police laxity, tying a wire between the 2, barricades just to close down that road, which is not seen by the 21-year-old Abhishek, led to a loss of his life. The police action that has now been taken is that the SHO has been transferred, and 4 beat constables in that area have been suspended. But the family is saying that it is little too late to be doing all this, because had the Delhi police done their due diligence and not led to this negligence and not led to the loss of life.
Right, Milan, also tell us, was the road lit up at all? Were the street lights intact?
Well, as you can see from the CCTV footage that has been accessed by Mirror now, the street light was dim and not bright enough to have shown this thin wire. And in any case, even if there is a thin wire in between the road in the middle of the night, it is difficult to be visible from the naked eye, and a person has to be very alert to see it, even when there is a thin stretch of string or something that is tied to barricades. And this is not how roads are barricaded. We look at strong police bandobast in many areas, and just because this area sees some kind of robbery incidences and auto lifting incidences, the police's half-hearted barricading the road does not really solve the purpose also of making the area safe. And now we are looking at this freak accident where the 21-year-old young life has been lost to this police negligence.
Absolutely, Milan. In fact, stay with us. In fact, the police has accepted that there was negligence on their behalf. And like Milan was saying, suspended 4 policemen and transferred an SHO. Listen in.
हम लोगों ने इसमें केस दर्ज कर लिया है। केस दर्ज करके हमने एसएचओ को लाइन हाजिर कर दिया है और कंसर्न जो बीट स्टाफ था जिनका नेग्लिजेंस था वो बीट स्टाफ को हमने सस्पेंड कर दिया है। ये बैरिकेड 4 होते थे, 4 बैरिकेड पे तार बांधा जाता था। परसों रात में ये 4 बैरिकेड में से 2 हटा लिए गए, इसलिए तार है, ये नेग्लिजेंस रही है कि तार हटाए गए, वो बैरिकेड हटा के भी तार रखा गया है। दैट वाज द नेग्लिजेंस।
Right, Milan, we heard, the police there, of course, saying that there was negligence, but that's really besides the point. The point is that, has there been a proper response as to why was the entire road barricaded in the first place? And were there not enough barricades available to the police at that point in time that they needed to resort to tying it with this kind of a wire?
Absolutely, there it seems as if not enough barricading, pickets were available with the police. But we've also raised this question that why wasn't a cop present at the spot? In fact, the Delhi police has recently said that patrolling has been increased to the maximum level in the National Capital Region as well. And we didn't see any PCR at that point of time. You can clearly see in the CCTV footage as well. And the residents of the area as well have said that even though incidences of thievery and robbery and auto lifting and car part lifting happens in the area, patrolling is far and few. And this is one of the reasons that the barricades was put in. It was put in to bring in more security in the area, but the way it was put in, tying one string to another barricade from one end to another, where the string cannot even be visible in the dead of the night to anybody who's crossing it, is dangerous. Avni, it could have been anyone, it could have been any other person, it could have been you and me, and this is something that the Delhi police must answer on and take full responsibility for. And transferring an SHO and suspending few police officials is definitely not going to bring back the life of the young who the family has lost today.
Absolutely, Milan. In fact, let's go across to Gaurav, who's calling us from Delhi. Hi, Gaurav. Thanks for calling in. Go ahead. What would you like to say?
Yeah, ma'am. Hi. I want to say that I fail to understand. Like you said that policeman has been suspended and transferred. So suspension means like he has been made off duty, and transfer means that he has been transferred from one police station to another. So how can a transfer and suspension means of punishment?
Absolutely, absolutely, Gaurav. Thanks for calling in. And that's in fact the question that we are also raising here on Mirror Now, is that is this kind of a transfer enough? Is that enough of a punishment? Is the suspension enough of a punishment? You have even the police themselves admitting that it was guilt, admitting guilt that it was negligence that occurred in this particular instance. Milan, the question continues to remain is that even if there was a barricade that was put there, when there is such a kind of barricade, usually police personnel is present on the spot. That question is also, of course, not yet answered.
Certainly, the police does not have any response to this matter. In fact, right at the spot after the incident occurred in the morning, there were a team of police personnel investigating what may have gone wrong, and there was a team of investigating officers that had come there. However, when we spoke to the citizens on the ground and the residents who live there, they did say that this is not the first time that this incident has happened. Many people have tripped over and fallen. We see sometimes the barricades are tied with ropes. This time time it was tied with a wire, and this particular wire, is what led to the death of the 21-year-old Abhishek, who was an earning member of his family. And at this point, as you rightly pointed out, transferring an SHO from one police station to another or suspension of a few officials does not really answer as to why this particular negligence and laxity on the part of the Delhi police, and why there was no police personnel even patrolling that area at 1 a.m. in the night, and how is it that they are ensuring safety and security of citizens by placing two hardly there barricades on the road there.
Absolutely, Milan. In fact, I'm going to take those very questions to Maxwell Pereira, former Joint Commissioner of Delhi, who's joining us on the phone line. Mr. Pereira, thank you so much for joining us. You've just heard what our reporter said as far as this entire incident is concerned, an absolutely horrifying incident. That wire, if you were to look at those visuals that we'll play out for you, that wire, it can barely be seen in the daytime, let alone at night.
I agree with you totally about the presence of the wire, and more than that, there is a little history about barricades. The emphasis has always been, about the staff manning the barricades, and when the staff leaves, that the barricades are to be even removed from the road. They have to be kept aside, and this is more often than not sort of observed in the violation of the rule, then this thing, even as the Chief of Traffic Police, I had reservations on this, and I used to invariably write to the local police, the district staff, to beware of this, that no barricade should be on the road when there is no staff, let alone be wire tying the two barricades together. So it's not the question of only the wire. Even the barricade should not be there if that staff is not there. And that is the cardinal rule. And if they have violated that themselves, and instead of, removing the barricades from there, even gone to the extent of putting a wire across, then the people who are supposed to be on duty for those who left the wire there with the barricade are culpable, and they need to be punished.
Right. Right. Mr. Pereira, go ahead. Yes.
Yes. The quantum of punishment is, you and I are not the arbiters of it. You can rile up the public by giving false impressions all the time. Please do not do that. There has to be an inquiry on this, and their culpability, to what extent has been there, will be established by an inquiry, and then only their quantum of punishment will be given.
Absolutely, Mr. Pereira, completely agree with you on that. But the larger question that I, would like your view on is the fact, very often, whether it's the civic authorities, whether in this case it's the Delhi police, we see these instances of negligence that claim lives. Whether you have pothole issues, you have trees falling on citizens. Every time there is an inquiry that happens, and then it just sort of gets forgotten about, and the people responsible are not taken to task.
Yeah, no, that is that's a perception that should not be given. I know there are any number of, the maximum policemen get punishment. In any department, you will find out that the quantum of punishment is doled out to its own by the police department is far more than any other department that you can think of, that you can even pit against. And this is the reality the public believe, and you better believe, because you are the one who gives the first false information to the public.
All right, let's get in Sujay Kantawala, who's joining us on the phone line. Mr. Kantawala, your response to this entire issue, this entire incident that we've seen here?
I mean, I just don't understand why the standard operating procedures which govern all these agencies are not being followed. It's only because of the carelessness and the negligence which is palpable. I mean, it's there for all to see that these kind of gruesome and horrific incidents take place. For example, we had the manhole tragedy, the pothole tragedy in Mumbai, where we lost one of the best doctors we have in India. Such a sad way that we have for that purpose. We have trees which were certified to be fit for being cut down. The tree authorities don't come, because there is so much corruption, and then it falls on a journalist, and that lady died while taking a morning walk. So these incidents we are seeing again and again. And where is the question of my bothering to punish the offense? Why should the offense be committed? See, it's a different thing to ultimately go through the rigors of a trial and then to see and ensure that that policeman or whoever that officer is convicted. I don't want to, I'm a citizen, I have rights. My rights are very clear and I demand my rights. My rights are that the government servants who get their salaries because of the taxes I pay have to be careful. They have to follow the law and they have to see to it that citizens don't get harmed or they don't die because of their negligence. I don't want to go through a trial. I want to see that these incidents don't take place. Precaution is better than cure. It's as simple as that. So no citizen has the time. We don't have the patience to wait for 10, 15 years to ensure that that person is convicted. What is the use? The person who has suffered has already suffered. So rather we have to focus on the fact that these incidents should be prevented from taking place. And that such kind of, this incident that has come to light completely shows the careless and negligent attitude on behalf of the authorities. And this also shows that there is absolutely no accountability to the citizen. That is what is alarming today, that they are so callous and careless in their duties that unless you pay them, they are not willing to move from their seats and just getting fatter and fatter at our expense. This is what is to be discussed.
Mr. Pereira, if you're still with us, just to come back to the larger point that you were making about perception, unfortunately that perception is, all right, we've lost Mr. Pereira, but Mr. Kantawala, coming back to you, that's really the fair point that you're bringing up here, and the fact that this is a larger issue, like you mentioned, not just restricted to the Delhi police in this particular case, because by the time this actually comes to a logical conclusion, nothing much has happened, and the people who need to be punished are not punished.
For example, I'll give you an incident about Kamla Mills. This horrific tragedy that took place in Mumbai. If the authorities would have followed the manual and the standard operating procedures and would have seen to it that the eatery has followed all the norms, perhaps these people would be alive today. You have the manual tragedy. Every day people are dying in Mumbai for some or the other. You have such bad roads. You have bikers who fall off. You have pregnant women who fall off. You have such kind of incidents which are preventable. The difficulty is that the authorities just don't care. They just don't bother because there is no accountability. There used to be a time when the municipal commissioner of Mumbai used to personally visit every ward and used to ensure that things are going. At least he used to make an attempt. Do we have that situation today? We don't.
Right.
In spite of the communication, in spite of the social media, in spite of technology development, we still have 30,000 manuals in the city that need a wire meshing. And that is why we have filed the PIL. If some people even remove the manhole cover because of flooding, at least some innocent person should not slip and have a free fall into 15-20 feet of gutter water.
Right.
That's
absolutely, Mr. Kantawal, completely agree with you. Just to come back to this particular incident, as far as the family is concerned, they want justice, they want to take this further. What is the legal route that's available to them? Because you're dealing with nobody else but cops here.
No. So therefore, many years back when a matter went to the Supreme Court, Supreme Court Justice Krishna Iyer started writing his judgment by saying, who will police the police? This is the exact situation over here. Who will police the police? Here you have two people who have put this wire mesh which has led to the death of an innocent boy. They have to be immediately arrested. This should send shockwaves to the police force that they cannot have this lackadaisical attitude and at the cost of the citizens' lives. Immediate departmental proceedings and fast-track trial. Unless you do that and exhibit to the public at large that yes, here is a Delhi government that is acting, nothing's going to happen. This will be forgotten after a few days, and that is not permitted in our democracy. The citizens' anger will want justice, and rightly so.
Absolutely. And correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Kantawala, but one example something that sets an example once will have a large repercussion in terms of how these issues of negligence are dealt with in the future. If one person is actually given the kind of punishment that they deserve for a life being lost, it will have a ripple effect on the way other civic authorities, whether it's the police, whether it's civic authorities, deal with such issues.
Exactly. And therefore it will have precedential value. It will also have a value and instill fear in mind of other lazy officers who are careless in their duty not to commit this, because they know that there is a watchful media, there is a watchful public, and there is a watchful judiciary who will take them to task. Once the case goes to the judiciary, the trial can be fast-tracked. Punishment must be swift. Because the old adage goes in India, you are innocent till proven guilty. Prove him guilty, have a good prosecutor to see to it that. So therefore, the citizens, otherwise the citizens won't feel vindicated.
Right.
And ultimately, the country lives by its citizens. If the citizens are unhappy and they feel that they are not getting justice, that's the saddest day for our democracy.
Absolutely, Mr. Kandawala. Let's listen into what some of our viewers have to say. Gurjusdeep calling us from Chandigarh. Thank you so much for calling in. Go ahead. What would you like to say?
Yeah, ma'am. I fully agree with Mr. Sujay Kantawala, and I wish to submit that the police is the most negligent lot, while even on duty for themselves and for others. Well, one thing is for sure, like a simple cop will also keep sub-inspector or an inspector of a police station who's a SHO, he will keep 10 guards around him to protect themselves. But when it comes to public safety, they leave these barricades when even they are not on doing any checking over there. They in fact put these barricades permanently. I'm surprised that how can they use barbed wire around a barricade? That is the most negligent thing to do. They want to kill people actually. You know, that is someone's kid has lost life. Their families at the right who don't know at whose mercy. Even the police department should be made to pay the compensation to that boy's family. This is what I have to say.
All right. Thank you very much for calling us. Sudhir Pandey is calling us from Mumbai. Thank you, Sudhir, for calling us. Go ahead. What would you like to say? Sudhir, if you can hear me, go ahead.
Yes, I would like to say this casual attitude with the government authorities, it's in their blood actually. The moment one is appointed as a government servant, he thinks like, he has got a job and which is certain, and whether he works, whether he goes in time or whether he takes little extra effort to solve the problems. In this case, so, there should be and second thing is multiplicity of authorities also becomes a cause of negligence actually. So many police, PWD and municipality and MLAs so there should be one number and one person who should be responsible. Anything is being reported, say number 500 or 600, and that should be solved within a week or something, say porthole or any week thing something. And secondly, there should be a system like America. No person dies, he should be compensated by the government, by the state, for about ₹1 crore or something. So that gives an immediate, sort of a relief to the person's family, and they will also get a lesson from this. That's all.
Right. All right, absolutely. Point taken, Sudhir. Thank you for calling us. Thank you, Mr. Kantawala, for joining us. We're completely out of time, but the question still remains as to why the barricades were there in the first place. As we heard Mr. Pereira say, barricades there cannot be barricades until there is police personnel present. And there was no police personnel. On top of that, there was this wire which can barely be seen in the daytime, let alone at night. Why is there not more action being taken? Simply more than just transferring of the cops? That's a question we'll continue to keep raising all these issues on Mirror Now. Thank you so much for watching.